What's going on, guys? Chuck here, not with an awesome Blu-ray purchase. This is something a little different. I'm dealing with a DVD set, in this case being a television DVD set. This is a set I'm really excited about. This is for a show that I absolutely love. It's actually my all-time favorite television sitcom ever, and that is, without further ado, Three's Company. As a kid, it was a very prominent thing. I can't remember exactly when it debuted. I want to say like about, well, it was the 40th anniversary, sometime in the late 70s. So I was like a prime time for this. Now, I remember it being on, actually when it was airing. However, I don't remember like actually watching it on a regular basis as it aired, except for the only thing I really remember seeing was like the last episode when it aired. After that, it wasn't until it was rerun constantly on syndication, mostly in the afternoon on one of our local stations. So in those cases, in the summer or when you're home from school, you're watching these, TV reruns, and Three's Company was one of those that was prominent. And I would just watch it over and over, and I absolutely fell in love with the show. It's not the smartest of shows. It's basically, it's all about the misunderstanding. It's a farce, plain and simple. It's based off a British sitcom, I think it's called Man About the House. That's, a guy living with two women. Very taboo subject at the time. A lot of the stuff is, it probably, well, actually, no, with sensibilities today, a lot of the humor of the show would not be taken very well. There's a lot of, obviously, the whole point of the Jack Tripper character portraying himself as a homosexual with is not a very good representation. For those of you who don't know, for those of you younger people who are ever watching it, Three's Company, the whole basis of the show was you have two girls who are in an apartment living together in Santa Monica, California, somewhere in California. And it's Janet Wood and Chrissy Snow, also known her full name being Christmas Snow. And they just thrown a wild party. Their roommate Eleanor has gotten pregnant, she's getting married, she's moving out. They had a wild party. They wake up next morning and they find a man sleeping in their bathtub. That man being Jack Tripper, played by the excellent John Ritter. Hilarity ensues. They realize, he needs a place to stay. He's a great cook. These girls need extra help with the rent. What the heck? Why don't you live here? However, one guy, two girls, that seems kind of, risque. And plus our, old landlords, the Ropers, won't care for it. How do we get by that? Well, we'll tell them that Jack's gay. Hilarity ensues. Like I said, that's your general premise of the show. Even when, Mr. and Mrs. Roper left and brought in Mr. Furley, same thing. We got to pretend that Jack's gay or else this wouldn't, fly. There's, like I said, the humor in it. To me, the homosexual humor, when there's stereotyping, not very, it doesn't play well today. There's a lot of stuff. It's like, there's a lot of misogyny. I don't want to say misogyny, but but there is. But there's a lot of stuff that just wouldn't fly. Whereas this back in 70s, 80s, it was just silly, good fun. No one thought too much about it. But to me, the highlight of these episodes is really John Ritter and his gift for physical comedy. And it's one of the reasons why he became one of my favorites of all time, because I absolutely loved what he could do physically as a performer and the laughs he could produce. And just, it was amazing. It's very akin to Lucille Ball, who I absolutely love and adore, because she was great at physical comedy too. And in this case, there's even an episode, I think it's maybe celebrating around their 100th episode. They had a retrospective special where Lucille Ball hosted and basically said as much that why she loves John Ritter is because she loves his physical comedy, how good he was, and Lucy is was the queen. So that's what struck me to this, and it's got its heartfelt moments, it's got its really ridiculous, goofy moments. There's always something in there for everybody, but whether it's a series that could is looked at in a bad light today or whatever, regardless, I love this show. I unashamedly and unironically love this show. It is one of my all-time favorites. And I was so glad when I just happened to find this completely at random on Facebook, scrolling through, and I saw there was an ad saying there's this company I'd never heard of. What's it called? I had a list or somewhere, like Visual Entertainment or something like that. I don't know, it's here somewhere. I'll have to put it up here because I can't remember what it's called. But it was something Brandon never heard of. But apparently, looking at their website, they've actually gotten licensed for a lot of these TV series. A lot of TV series have been let go by other companies. Because Three's Company originally was released by Anchor Bay many, many years ago in several different forms. And then it just kind of disappeared. And I'm assuming, obviously, I believe Anchor Bay's disappeared for that matter. But this company got the rights, and they released this set. Now, obviously, as a fan of Three's Company, I had this on DVD twice over. Excuse me. I initially bought. Let me go back. Before TV shows on DVD or Blu-ray was even a thing, I was recording TV shows on VHS tapes. I think I'm a Three's Company 20. But I was like, Time Life or one of those CBS somebody, someone. I think I mentioned this before with Star Trek. They can, you could go out and order these collector sets, and they would send you a VHS of the series, like 2 episodes per tape, or maybe a sitcom is the case, 4 episodes per tape, and you basically buy these collector sets. I think Soap, another great series, actually came out at the same time as Three's Company, another favorite of mine, was released that way. What is it? Columbia House is who it was. But that was very expensive. Imagine the set, the sets you would have for that. But because the show was on syndication, I had I had so many VHS, because blank VHS tapes were cheap. And you could buy a bunch, and I would every day I'm recording an episode of Three's Company, and I just had my own collection on recorded VHS. Not high quality, because I cranked that thing up to the 6 hour, so I could get at least roughly about 16 episodes per tape. And sometimes I had to do a little makeshift editing, a little dubbing. For some reason I couldn't be there to actually pause the commercials out. I had to record the episode on a timer. I got that tape. The tape I was going to record the episode on, I would dub it, cut out commercials, so you got a second generation on. It was a process. But nonetheless, I had most of these episodes. A lot of times syndication would cut out certain episodes. Of course, they would not only cut out episodes, but they would edit up episodes for the commercials. So you're not getting complete, so at the time, that's it. Well, like I said, somewhere in the early 2000s, when DVD or TV shows on DVD became a big thing, and it was, every show was getting a DVD release, every classic show. And I would tape a lot of these shows, Three's Company, Twilight Zone, V, Roseanne, Facts of Life, all the Growing Pains, Saved by the Bell, all these shows I recorded on VHS in episode, and now I pretty much own them all on DVD. I was ahead of my time. But anyway, back to the point. Anchor Bay eventually released these Three's Company in individual season sets. Remember, season 1 was like a single disc, because it was a mid-season replacement. It was only like 6 episodes of season 1, but it also had unaired pilots, because it was like 3 pilots for Three's Company, and they had with different characters, different actors, and it's very interesting. I think the only consistent in those, I believe, was John Ritter, memory serves. and maybe some of the actors who play the Ropers. But yeah, so there was that, and then after that they released full season sets for the remaining 7 seasons, and they were nice sets. Anchor did a great job with these. There was right up on the inside information by author Chris Mann, who wrote the definitive guide of Three's Company. Come and knock on our door. I think it was called the hers and his guide to Three's Company. Fantastic book. All the behind the scenes, an episode guide. So much information on there. It's a really, really great book. But he also wrote little tidbits. He had like little paragraphs and about the history of the show during that time, what was going on for each individual season. He also does commentaries on some of the episodes. There's great interviews with some of the surviving actors from the show, retrospectives on the characters. I mean, these were a great set, and I had all these individually, and then they ended up releasing a full season set themselves, which this is my actual season set. Of Three's Company, which I replaced those individual discs. Now, they put these all in these combined sets, which is like seasons 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and 7 and 8 combined here. There was a newer release after this where these were all in paper sleeves, but I like this better, which is ironic. I'll get to that in a minute. But it's a really nice set. It contained all that stuff. Nothing was left off. So this is a really nice set. Now, it includes all 174 original episodes, plus 2 early episodes not seen in original broadcast. Those are the 2 pilots. Now, keep in mind that number, 174 original episodes. Now, I say that because this new set, this 40th anniversary set, it tells you here, all 8 seasons, 172 episodes. Now, this set says 174. This set says 172, which is correct. Well, I believe the answer to that lies in the extra features on here, or not extra feature, but the bonus content on here. As far as extra features on this set, this is everything that the Anchor base sets had. All the special featured interviews, commentaries, they're all on this set. So this is duplicating this completely. Now, what the major difference with this set was, and the reason why I jumped at this immediately, is this right here. This includes the Ropers and Three's a Crowd, the 2 spinoff series from Three's Company, never before released on DVD at all. And I had always said for years I'd love to have this set, or a set of the Ropers and Three's a Crowd. There's only 3 seasons between the 2 of them. Ropers lasted for 2, maybe only a season and a half, honestly. And Three's a Crowd, which was the spinoff after Three's Company ended, only lasted 1 season. But I always wanted to have that because it's completest, and I just, again, a completest for Three's Company. And whenever you would see them on TV, at least you would get them in the syndication package, at least Three's a Crowd. Not all the time, but a lot of times after, in a syndication, when Three's Company would end, the network or whatever was airing it would then cycle in the Three's a Crowd episodes right after that until they're done, then jump back to the beginning of Three's Company and move forward. You never saw Ropers. Ropers is very rare you would see in syndication, which brings me to the point of this 2-episode difference. The reason why this says it has all 174 episodes and this says it has all 172 is because this set includes the Ropers. Now, what does that mean? Well, on this set, this includes, as part of the Three's Company run, 2 episodes of the Ropers. In syndication, they aired as episodes of Three's Company, and these were episodes of Ropers that had the characters from Three's Company in it. I can't remember the title off the top of my head, but those 2 episodes are added on this set as part of that run when they were actually Ropers episodes. Therefore, being this has the Ropers on it, those 2 episodes I'm assuming are taken off of the Three's Company lineup and put together and put strictly on the Ropers set. So that's a nice little interesting tidbit. So let's take a look at this here. This is a nice, kind of similar packaging in a sense, although I do like that this has the entire cast over the years on it, where this one only has, your original 3. But what is nice the thing about this is this has a little open door. It has, the Ropers in there, which is great. Norman Felt was always fun for a laugh. I loved his deadpan take to the camera. Hilarious. Audrey Lindley is great. So yeah, they were always fun to watch, and they had great chemistry. Or Norman Fell and John Ritter had great chemistry, and I know Norman did not want to leave Three's Company to do the Roper sitcom. I think Audrey did, but Norman didn't really want to. He put his contract, if the show was canceled after a year, he gets to come back. Unfortunately, the show ran for about a year and a half, so it overlapped his contract, and he wasn't able to come back to Three's Company. By that point, they brought in Don Knotts and Mr. Furlong. Now, Ropers did have a guest episode after the fact, but that was it, and that was the last you ever saw of the Ropers, which is a shame. Although Don Knotts is great. Don Knotts and John Ritter had fantastic chemistry for the remainder of that show, and he is hilarious in that. So now the back of this actually has, kind of the other cast on here, which is nice. I know Priscilla Barnes, I know she says it's not really one of her favorite times in the show. She really had a hard time. Her and Joyce Witt both said, I've seen a lot of behind the scenes read stuff, that this is kind of the writer's room was kind of a boys' club, and you didn't really get much to do. And obviously John was favored heavily, to the point where his whole spin-off Three's a Crowd was kind of kept in the female cast members were kind of kept in the dark about that, from what I understand, which is a shame, especially for Joyce DeWitt, because she's been there since the beginning, and she kind of got the shaft, and I know she was not very happy with that. Again, the behind the scenes, and then you go into the whole stuff with Suzanne Summers and her time on the show, which sadly she just passed away here very recently. But there is so much behind the scenes stuff on this show, which is just interesting to listen to or read about it in here. And when you watch certain episodes and what's going on behind the scenes, there's certain episodes where Chrissy's not there and she's on a phone calling. She's at her mother's house or whatever it is, and she's making phone calls to Jack or Janet, and or cutaways when Suzanne was filming herself all by herself, not even with the cast, because at the time they couldn't even be around each other, and to the point where they're finding a way to get her off the show, and then they bring in Jamie Lee Harrison as her cousin Cindy, until she's finally replaced by Priscilla Barnes as Terry, which was a great addition to the cast as well. So pop off this nice little sleeve here, and you've got again the case. Very hard box. Now, what I'd said about the update of this set having the paper sleeves, once you pop this open, this is actually very tough. What you have in here is, in lieu of cases, you have this little booklet of all the discs. But these are good quality discs. And this is anything that's reprinted with the artwork on them, and they have the special features you see there. And this is the whole Three's Company set. As you see. And they got the color scheme for the different seasons. Season 3, disc 1 being purple and whatnot. Their bonus. If I can do this without. There we go. And actually, I think in that set, they weren't like paper, like a cardboard box or slips or sleeves, cardboard sleeves with the disc, and I didn't really care for that. That's why I like those hard. This isn't bad. I mean, the artwork's nice. Actually, the artwork on here is a little bit better than what's on the set that I have here. Let's just pop open. On this set here, you've got, like I said, just season 1 and 2. And there's no artwork in this. There's just plain discs. And that's it. 3 and 4. Well, I do like the imagery. But again, You start getting some artwork on here. But I don't think everyone has these. Yeah, so here you go. Now you go back to, they're kind of just hit and miss with which ones have artwork and which ones don't. And the last, you go back to again having, and I can't remember, individual discs or the sets when they came out individually, how they were. I'm thinking these are, if memory serves, these are actually the same discs that were in those sets. They're just put in these cases instead. But this is nice. It's very uniform. Every disc has kind of the same look. I do like that. And this whole set is very reminiscent of something like Mill Creek and their box sets. Good quality. No bang for your buck, I guess. Kind of reducing costs, getting rid of the big cases, but all the discs are all of good quality. They put a lot of effort into them, which is nice. They're in the sleeve, so they're still protected easily to get out, so that's nice. And then you have one more sleeve, which does include the Ropers, first time ever. All there's 2 seasons, and then Three's a Crowd. So they put a lot of nice effort into these. And again, in lieu of having a bunch of extra cases in here, which would have probably made the price, because you've got 3 different shows on this one set, if you think about it. Even though Three's a Crowd and Ropers is only essentially 2.5 seasons, it's still 3 shows, along with Three's Company. So they put this all in here, and these little, cost-saving sleeves to make a nice, affordable price. I think is only like about $40, maybe $45, $46 for this set. And to get both of these shows and this entire original Three's Company run and get all the special features, so you're not losing anything from the original Anchor Bay. The entire Anchor Bay collection is in here with all the special features, all the commentary, the interviews, everything that's on here was on those sets is on here. So you're getting all that, plus you get the Ropers and Three's a Crowd. So that's a lot of bang for your buck. And it's, again, it presented very nicely. And they have this nice little, means nothing, but it's still cool. So I think it's worth the upgrade from this. And even, nothing else, you're getting the Ropers and Three's a Crowd. So you're getting the whole Three's Company, experience. The only thing that would have made it, more complete was to have the British versions. Man About the House, was it George and Mildred? I think it was the spinoff, and then Robin's Nest. Of course, George and Mildred was the British version or version of what would become the Ropers, and Robin's Nest being the British version of Three's a Crowd. Of course, those British ones had a lot more success than the American spinoffs. So, all right, that is it for this long-winded discussion about Three's Company on DVD, specifically this 40th anniversary set, which includes all 8 seasons, all 172 episodes, plus the Ropers and Three's a Crowd for the first time ever on disc, to my knowledge. And it has to be, because if it had been on disc before, I'd already have it. So, I am so glad to get this. This is, I think, it's still a DVD set, but it's this company. I think it's Visual Entertainment, I want to say it's called. They have a lot of nice television sets on their website, which I'll put a link to on here in description, if not on here. For some reasonably good prices, and I'm assuming it's going to be a lot like this, the individual sleeves and compacted together, but a nice presentation. For a good cost. If you're looking for some older TV shows that probably were Anchor Bay releases at one time, maybe they no longer have them. But it's a lot like the Mill Creek. If you're familiar with that, how they put their sets together, this is kind of along the same lines. But if you're a Three's Company fan, I highly recommend getting this. This is fantastic. I am overjoyed to have this. Again, I'm just thrilled to get the Ropers and Three's a Crowd along with Three's Company. All right, that's enough from me. So if you enjoyed this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you were a fan of Three's Company, or if you are a fan of Three's Company, If you even heard of Three's Company, I don't know what the age range around here is. I'm assuming if you're watching me, you're old enough to remember Three's Company. Or what was your favorite sitcom growing up around that time? Or just say hi. I'll always take hi. So until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.